Dear family, this is Drea Beta, Coyote walking in this world, real life as little Pueblo superhero, proud two-spirit Indigenous warrior. I'm starting the Pueblo Revolt, hashtag Pueblo Revolt 2022 family. I have been fighting for the last 2 years against bullying, against PTSD, being triggered every time I was advocating for graduate student rights. I have been the leader of the world's largest graduate student organization, the American Educational Research Association, Graduate Student Council. I am proud to serve over 6,170 graduate students from around the world. I've been fighting tirelessly for our ability to be able to afford the very expensive conference family, for our ability to get support in supporting the panelists from all over the world who will be sharing their expertise with this Coyote's amazing global family. In addition to that family, we are bringing Indigenous life to the forefront. I am proud and honored to announce that our amazing Indigenous icon, Gary Farmer, First Nations elder, will be traveling to San Diego to speak in person to give the keynote for the American Educational Research Association Graduate Student Council Social. Our theme this year, family, is walking the path of our ancestors while pursuing our educational dreams. I've been fighting tooth or nail, family, to get any sort of budget. The world's largest graduate student organization had no money, and I was told numerous times never to ask for any. That is a disservice to our community, family, because graduate student organizations, we have a voice and we have a moral responsibility to represent the needs of the students who elect us. I have faced bullying. I have faced suicide in the fall, family, because the American Educational Research Association has allowed for 2 individuals to harass and create a hostile work environment. I have taken on an enormous amount of emotional burden, but that's okay, family, because my Gammy says I am on a mission, and she will send me the people who help lift me up. This morning, I got defunded. I asked the American Educational Research Association, that has $27 million in funds, for a $10 investment, family. Because you know what? I started with $2.50. $2.50 is what I was finally able to negotiate. That is what a graduate student is worth to the American Educational Research Association. And when that would not go far enough, when I shamed council and I said that our life circumstances are vastly different and that my students deserve to have breakfast and lunch provided at least, that they deserve to have discounts during COVID, that they deserve to have an operating budget because we represent the world's largest graduate student organization. Family, this Coyote is on a mission for my ancestors, and today I have a very special prayer. My prayer today, family, because you know this Coyote is a real life Asleto Pueblo superhero, but also pastor. Excuse me, family. In an effort to decolonize, former pastor of Coyote's Lodge, House of Spirituality, Critical Race Theory, and Medical Marijuana. We have a daily prayer, family, during the week here on Facebook, and it is distributed across my 7 social media platforms. I am proud to represent all of the communities from around the world, family. Together, we will transform this world. And they have underestimated this Coyote. They have set me up to fail time and time again, family. But my Gammy says we are more powerful than we know. An Indian country is going to come out and lift me up. And academia is going to come out and feed our graduate students. I know it to be true, family, because we need $15,000. It is $25 for one meal. And that is at a local restaurant and a food truck. That is not catering, family. Catering at the Marriott Marquis, where the American Educational Research Association had decided to hold their meeting, a place that is so elitist, our graduate students will be forced to look in the windows of all of those fancy 5-star hotels and look at all of those steakhouses, on the marina and the beautiful beach, where we can only dream of someday visiting, right? But this conference, family, I want to reiterate, is not a vacation. This is a requirement of academia to prove my worth to this world. To prove that I am an academic and a researcher, I have to attend academic conferences. To get any hope of getting a job at a university, you have to publish, you have to go to conferences and pay out of pocket. The graduate students at the University of New Mexico full-time make $14,400 a year, family. That does not include health insurance. That does not include anything for their families, and that is wrong. We are doing a disservice to our communities. This Coyote needs your help, and we need miracles to come, because we need $15,000 to feed our family and to ensure that Indigenous life is at the world's largest educational conference. They have 27 million in funds, and they're telling this Coyote, pay $525 for your guest panelist who is from Africa, who is from Asia, who never would have attended this conference, but has decided to donate their expertise to share with our graduate student family. They won $525 from this Coyote's budget, literally taking the food out of this Coyote's graduate student family's mouth. Yesterday, I could make my budget. Yesterday, I could pay my Indigenous people, and I could feed my graduate students because I had $17,000 in which I was making phone calls for local restaurants and food trucks to feed my family next week. But this morning, I get an email saying that you're not getting your money. Shame on you for trying to help the members of AERA by trying to comp them for being on a panel for the graduate students. Shame on you for trying to bring Indigenous life. We will make you choose, says AERA. You choose between your graduate students feeding, your graduate students food. You choose between breakfast and lunch, or you choose your Indigenous guests. That is the impossible situation that they have put me in, family. But this Coyote and my grandma, we know. We know that our family will listen to our battle cry. We know that our family will come out. That Indian country will answer our prayers, and they will know. Then they will believe that Indigenous life should be represented at the world's largest educational conference. Not only are we bringing Gary Farmer family, but we also have Isaac Dakota Casados, who is currently the chair of the Native American Democratic Caucus for New Mexico. We also have Sangchi Pinoshi family, who is the former vice chair of the Native American Democratic Caucus for New Mexico, who is also a recent graduate student at the University of New Mexico and the vice president of the Society of Native American Graduate and Undergraduates with this Coyote. My amazing Sangchi was not only a graduate student changing this world, but she has been changing Indian country, advocating, and she's going to come and share our story. Isaac Dakota Casados is a filmmaker. He's been influencing politics for years, family, and he is going to come inspire future generations of educators at the world's largest conference on Thursday as the keynote for the American Educational Research Association Graduate Student Welcome. He is opening the graduate student events at the world's largest conference, showcasing that Indigenous people matter, that getting out the vote in Indian country matters, that our people have a right to influence what happens in our society because we are not long dead, but we are still living. So I'm asking you, family, help this Coyote, spread the word. Hashtag Feed the Grads AERA 2022. Hashtag Pueblo Vote 2022. This Coyote needs your help. Right now, we're going to go and talk to our ancestors and ask for their blessings and guidance. Gami, It's your favorite trickster coyote grandchild. Gammy, I'm battling again. I have been pushing and pushing for our ability to eat and to have Indigenous life at the conference, while pushing back at a corporation and a nonprofit that is run like a corporation, family. Because the American Education Research Association forgets. Sorry, family. All this crying, all this emotionality that I have to process, it wears on you. It wears on you and it makes you tired. I'm tired, family. I am very, very tired. But that is okay. Because Gammy is going to send us those angels. Gammy's going to send us the energy we need. Gammy's going to ensure that both our graduate students are fed and that Indigenous representation will happen at the world's largest conference, family. I have belief. Gammy, I'm trying it again. It's your favorite trickster coyote grandchild. I know, it's not the weekday, Gammy, but we're still going to do a daily prayer today. As this coyote goes to battle against the world's largest educational nonprofit, I am advocating for the graduate student rights of over 6,000 people who are relying on me to provide meals, and for the Indigenous people that I have asked to come represent our communities on a global stage. Gammy, they're pitting me in an impossible situation and asking me to choose between food or representation. And that's not fair and that's not right. And I will keep ringing that bell, Gammy, but it's hard. It wears on my heart. And I'm scared. I can freely admit that I'm terrified. That I have been fighting for 2 years. I've literally been fighting for my life, Gammy. You know, you witnessed, you've seen my heart. And you know what we have done. And you know what they have done to us. Give me courage. Give me allies. Guide my heart, guide my tongue, guide my spirit. As we continue to fight, Gammy, I will fight tooth and nail every step of the way. I will give you my heart. I will give you my life. Never a martyr, always a warrior, Gammy. Because we do battle for all of our peoples. What we do will make a difference next week for every graduate student who is fed, because we were able to fight this week. For every Indigenous student who will come to the social and be proud of their people. That is why we do this work, Gammy. That is why you remind me of why we do this work. I just forget sometimes, Gammy. I forget who I am. I forget my mission. But then I remember that you are with us. So thank you, Gammy, for this courageous heart, for being my first example of a warrior woman, and for reminding me why we do this work. It's not for us, family. It's for others. It's for those whose lives will be made better because we fought for them. Papa! I need your guidance. I need your help. I need your blessings. I'm tired. I'm worn out. And I want to give up. But I can't, Papa. I can't give up. And I realize this is a moment in time. And I realize that change will come. And that after I let the emotions settle, after my global family returns my love with outpours of support, I will once again behold Papa. So thank you for that example of the healing power of love. I love you, Papa. And to my great-great-grandpa, Pablo Beta, true revolutionary and a Pueblo statesman, Dear Papa, thank you so much for all your blessings and guidance. I don't know how you wrangle with those Washington politicians. Well, Papa, as we take on not politicians, but directors of nonprofits who use and play with the lives and funds of graduate students as if they were gods, allow them to have an empathetic heart, allow them to have a conscience about what is right. Do not allow them to make us choose between Indigenous representation and feeding our food insecure graduate students. Allow us during COVID to find the angels who are going to help support our community and lift us all up. Allow us to have the courage in our hearts and the courage in our minds to keep doing the hard work because we need to. Never a martyr, always a warrior. Thank you, ancestors, aunties, uncles, gammies, cousins, papas, those who have gone before us and shown us your kindness and love. I appreciate you and I love you. Send us your blessings and guidance. Family, thank you so much for being my witnesses in this battle. I will be going live almost every minute of every day while I am battling the world's largest educational organization. It's called the American Educational Research Association. I have been serving as chair of the Graduate Student Council for the last year, family. I have fought tooth and nail to provide programming every month, to bring in the special interest group graduate students who are not part of the government to have a formal representation and a space for their voice. I wanted to provide humanizing COVID relief, family, as well as bringing Indigenous life and stories to the world's largest educational conference while feeding my food insecure graduate attendees, family. And I have been punished for that. I have been bullied for that. I have been professionally attacked in multiple spaces, and I have been defending, and I was making progress, family. I was able yesterday to pay for my Indigenous guests and to pay for my food. And I asked AURA to not put profits before people. I asked for them to take the 37 graduate student conference registrations. Those are panelists who will be donating their time and sharing them with our amazing graduate students. And I am currently, as the chair of the Graduate Student Council, being charged $525 because my panelists are donating their time, because they might live in an Asian or African country where the life differential, the standard of living is very different. In a country in Africa, a full-time professor at the biggest university might make $400 to $500 a month, family. In Asian countries, some of my full-time lecturer colleagues can make $140 to $200 a month. And AERA would like for them to pay $415 to be members. But because they cannot afford that, they're charging us as their sponsors, because they're donating their time to educate our graduate students, $525. That is why I cannot afford food this morning, family, because AERA would rather take profits out of the pockets of students, take food out of the mouths of food insecure graduate attendees at the annual conference next week in San Diego. They would rather defund my Indigenous guests and pay themselves first. And that is how they feel about our graduate student family. And that is why I'm raising a rallying cry for help and support. Gammy says the help will come, family. I just have to do my part. I just have to share my story. I have to be brave, and I have to continue to fight the battles, to be that warrior, to be that role model. Tomorrow, family, I will be in Old Town in Albuquerque, New Mexico, in front of the church. I will have my pottery, and I will be taking cash donations, check donations. I'll be taking donations, family.
please make them out to the Society of Native American Graduate and Undergraduate Students. I'll be depositing into our University of New Mexico account so that we can help support the food insecure family graduate students who will be attending the conference, as well as I am currently fundraising $12,000, family, just to make the honorariums and travel, just to make those amazing Indigenous guest speakers, to give them space at an international stage at the world's largest educational conference. Again, family, I am Drea Beta, Coyote walking in this world, real life Aslado Pueblo superhero, proud to be the first bisexual, Indigenous, two-spirited chair of the American Educational Graduate Student Council. I am a warrior, family. This Coyote is on a mission from my ancestors. I am here to transform the world, and I will be President of the United States or Emperor, Empress of the Americas by the time I'm 64. So watch out, world. You have continuously underestimated me since I was a survivor as a child of rape and molestation as a ramification of Indian boarding schools. Because I was 290 pounds for most of my life, family. This Coyote has taken off 110 pounds, saved my own life from 35 because I was dying. I had been diabetic like many of our Native American brothers and sisters from around the world. I was dying at 35. I had had multiple surgeries, family, eye surgeries. I had been losing feeling in my legs, family. I had many complications due to diabetes. But I chose to grab onto life, to listen to my inner spirit, to take the support and love from my family, to transform in the two-spirited warrior you see before you today. I will never stop fighting, family, because that's what superheroes, leaders, that's what we do, family. We are here to serve, to protect. And I'm going to leave you, family, before I take a quick break. This Coyote has PTSD. I'm a survivor of rape and molestation as a ramification of Indian boarding schools as a child, of police brutality in 2008, when an officer doing a racialized traffic stop, when I asked for his name and badge number because he was behaving inappropriately, he arrested me. I then was upgraded from anxiety to depression to PTSD and lost 9 months of my life because I cannot leave my house, family. We sued with 3 other people at the time in different incidences. This Coyote got a whopping $2,500. My lawyers got paid, and I got a lesson, a very hard lesson in authority and our real lives in the United States, family. Our freedom is precious, but the institutions, the policies, the bigger ideologies that control our lives, they're harmful, and we need to fight that. So join this Coyote in walking the path of our ancestors and remembering who we are, family, so we can role model how to transform this world. So I'm leaving you with my motto and remembering who I am. May you also find sources of strength in healing, in remembering our ancestors and remembering who we are, in doing honor to their name, family, and reclaiming in space and being a voice for change in this world. My motto, family. Be fearless, seek truth, lead, protect, and remember. Now, family, be fearless does not mean that you are a fool and you go through the world fearing nothing. Because yes, fight or flight and fear is part of our humanity and allows us to protect ourselves. What it is saying is be fearless in the face of adversity, in the face of our enemies, in the face of the people who would stop us from doing the work that we need to do. Be fearless, knowing your ancestors guide you and that you are doing what you are meant to do. We are meant to protect our people. We are meant to care for one another. We are meant to advocate for what is right in this world. Capitalism has ruled our lives for too long, and I'm asking you as an Indigenous warrior to join me and literally challenging those constructs that do us harm. On my other arm, family, because I have PTSD, I have anxiety, and sometimes when it's bad, I can't leave my room. I've been fighting for my life, and I was suicidal in the fall, made so because the American Educational Research Association allowed for me to be bullied for 2 years and did nothing, despite numerous phone calls, numerous emails, family. And finally, after making a huge fuss, council meeting after council meeting, saying I'm fighting for my life because I wanted to drive off a bridge. Let me be clear. This Coyote, a real-life Asleto Pueblo superhero, a doctoral candidate, someone who is a published author that has over 42 conference presentations, who has brought value in over $78,000 to the University of New Mexico, wanted to kill myself because of the stress and the pain and the violence that AERA has inflicted on my life. The violence and pain and suffering that Felice Levine, the executive director, and the president, Nayeli Nasir, as well as the council members who have continuously microaggressed me meeting after meeting, month after month. I have been begging, I have been pleading, I have finally been threatening to make sure that my food insecure graduate students would have a chance, to make sure that Indigenous life would have space at the world's largest educational conference, family. And all I have done for my work, for my activism, is to be bullied, to be put through microaggressions, to be put through hostile work environments that made me so desperate and hopeless that I wanted to drive off that bridge. So I'm telling you, family, if you don't think this is right, if you do not support the actions of the world's largest educational nonprofit, call, email, text, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, the leadership and the sponsors of the American Educational Research Association. Tell them that you want a full $10 investment of the $65 that I paid to be a member every year, of the $95 that they take out of every graduate student attendee. That's over $150, family, that they get from every single graduate student. And all we're asking for is $10 out of that $150. And yet the world's largest if we get that full $10,000, you know what that would do, family? That would double our budget. That would literally double my operating budget, and I could provide breakfast and lunch, no problem, family. If they listen to us, let us prove to them the power of social media. Let us prove to them what one person asking for the support and love of my global family can do. I am Dre, a beta coyote walking in this world, real life Asleto Pueblo superhero, the chair of the American Educational Research Association Graduate Student Council, the leader of over 6,170 graduate students who are counting on me to continue to fundraise, to continue to fight, and to get them food in less than 1 week. I have 5 days to come up with $15,000 because the American Educational Research Association would rather pay themselves, charging me $525 in humanizing COVID relief for one of our volunteer panelists who never would have attended the conference in the first place because it's too expensive. The $415 that you have to pay as a full member for the American Educational Research Association is almost the entire month's salary of one of our peers in an African country. It's $415 for the annual fee. It's an additional $285. So that's almost $700 to come to our conference and be a member. They make between $450 and $500 as a full professor in an African country. In an Asian country, a lecturer makes $140 to $200, family. And we want you to pay $700 for the honor of giving your time, volunteering your time and your expertise to educate our graduate students. I say that's not fair, family. I say that that is not right. To put profits before people, to literally make me, who has been advocating, whose life has been on the line this entire year, to choose between my native guests and the food in my graduate student mouths. That's what AERA, Felice Levine, the executive director, Lori Diane Hill, the associate executive director of the American Educational Research Association, made me do this morning. Choose, they said, choose between food and your Indigenous people because I need to be paid first. Give me my money, they said. You spent your budget, they said. You spent all your money on those panelists who are volunteering their time. So this morning, family, I got defunded by the world's largest educational association, American Educational Research Association. They have 27 million in the bank in funds. And they're telling this coyote, choose between Indian country and food insecure graduate students. And I say, no, family. I say, let them hear the power of social media. Let them hear what one coyote, what one Pueblo person can do. They want to make me choose. I say I'm a coyote. I don't have to. I will take you on. I will find that money because Indian country will support its own. Because academia will come out and support its graduate students. I will be sending emails out, family. We're calling the media, and you are going to be my witness. I will be doing lives for the next 5 days as I try to make that impossible goal of $15,000. I love you all, and may you have a great day. I'm going to take a break, but I'll see you soon.